What's up, guys? Welcome back to another riveting episode of Avion Awesome. So, I have been kind of thinking here lately about what I actually want to say, on this channel. And, I'm trying to take my friend James's advice and, kind of talk about some of the stuff that I have to do in the day-to-day operations of doing full-time RV living. Okay? Unfortunately, when you do RV full-time, there are going to be particular instances where you both will have shore power, and there are going to be instances when you do not have shore power. So, like in a house, you're just always connected to the grid, right? So, you plug stuff up, and it just works. Some of you, though, have mixed media, and I'm going to call it mixed media, in your home in order to power or to do things. It's the same way in an RV, but it's also different when one option is just completely off the table sometimes. So I'm a big proponent of like the survival mentality where 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So you have to have 2 of everything, or you at least have to have a backup to that 1. In a lot of instances, if you have shore power, most things are pretty well taken care of. But if you don't, you need a generator. So in my case, I have a gas generator first, right? Well, it's the Predator 3500. But in the event that, say, I run out of gas, I also wanted a backup to that gas generator, and I wanted an electric generator. So I have my solar generator, which is the Predator, or the Energy Kodiak. Then, you've also got the problem of, say, like refrigeration. That one is the tougher one for me to figure out. So while I'm, hooked up to shore power, the refrigerator works off electric. When you're not hooked up to shore power, it runs off of propane. It won't, keep it super chilly like it is if you are using electric, but it will do pretty good. It'll do a pretty good job of keeping it cool, at least to the point where things just won't horrendously spoil. Next up, you've got, cooking. So in most RVs, if they're large enough, most of people opt to have a stove and an oven put in. A lot of people that only go to campgrounds, or they're not going to be full-timing in their campers, a lot of them opt to have the stove removed, and then they just put in a microwave oven, and that's just about it. That's all they put in. In my case, I'm in a nice older RV, so I have both a gas stove and gas oven, along with an induction cooktop. So I have both gas and electric, which is really convenient because now I have the ability to get power from multiple sources. I have the ability to keep food cold from multiple sources. I also have a cooler out there, so in the unlikely event that maybe I just can't get propane in time, or I'm just not going to be anywhere to fill up my bottles or whatever, I still have, the ability to stop at a gas station, pick up a bunch of ice, if they don't happen to sell propane there, and just dump my food in there, at least to save it for a couple of days. Now I've got cooking options. I have both electric and gas. And then there's also the option of heat. While I did, in fact, have a gas furnace in this place, it was huge, it was loud, it drinks propane like it's nobody's business, so I just opted to go, meh. I'm not going to use that one, so I ripped that out, and my gas solution was to get the Mr. Heater Portable Buddy, and then just hook it up to the propane line down there where the furnace used to be. But for those moments when I am connected to shore power, I want an electric option. So I have gas option, and now you have to have an electric option. Now for most people, this is going to be just about all you're going to need. And this is what I've opted for. They're just really inefficient. They are not ideal for anyone that's trying to run their stuff off of their solar panels. But honestly, no heating solution is going to be very energy efficient. The ability to heat is one of the most vital things in order to keep us alive in those colder months, but it is also the most inefficient. The problem is that anything that is efficient is just ridiculously expensive. Much like solar, much like all that other kind of stuff, it costs a lot of money in order to find the efficient things, and most of the time they're not even that good. They're efficient as hell, but they're just not that good. That's what I try and think of. Anything that I'm going to need on a regular basis, a consistent basis, I try to find things that are going to be redundant. So that was the main reason why I grabbed a laptop instead of just going ahead and dragging around the desktop that I already had. I opted to spend money to get this so that it had a battery backup. So when shore power goes out and you're not able to do anything, I've got the iPad, the laptop, my phone. I have all these different devices that will enable me to stay connected even when the power goes out because they all have batteries inside. It's the same thing with the lights in here. Okay? It's the same reason you keep house batteries, so that when you aren't connected to something, you can still flick on these little, 5-watt reading lamps, because these lamps here are both on AC power. They only use a very small amount of power, like 3.5 watts each, but they're still not going to work unless I'm connected to something. So when it comes to you being in an RV situation, redundancy is going to be key a lot of the time. And that mainly has to do with the fact of you never know where you're going to be. You never know what the condition is going of the place that you're going to is going to be. I mean, they could have had a flood, they could have had a tornado, or, anything could happen. Those things could happen while you're there. So in my personal opinion, if you're in any way, shape, or form thinking about getting into some form of lifestyle, whether it be RVing or minimalism or tiny home or just whatever, the fact that you are not grid tied, very often at least, then it is imperative that you get multiple things that allow for redundancy. You want to be able to have a backup for your primary at the very least. 2 is 1 and 1 is none, so you have to have backups. And I think I've done a pretty good job of that so far. That's all I've got for you all today. Just wanted to kind of talk about it since, he said that I wasn't doing enough just like day-to-day stuff. But I mean, as of right now, my days are pretty simple because I haven't actually gone anywhere yet. I'm still in the process of selling all my stuff. But I did want to talk about at least that part because I think it's probably one of the most important things to talk about that I don't really hear a lot of full-time RVers talking about, or at least I haven't. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. I'm out of here. Peace.